Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kirsten, and in today's video I just wanted to do more of a sit down video because the last three that I've uploaded have been a little bit more vlog style, but I do want to have like a one-on-one more type of conversation about what I wish I knew before becoming a mother. And this is going to be a little bit more on like the personal side of it, not necessarily like tips and tricks for being the best mom or whatever. These are just things that I wish that I had known, that I have noticed that I have kind of like struggled mentally with, and that were obstacles that I maybe really wasn't aware of or prepared for. And I just want to put them out there so that if you're about to become a mom, or you just had a baby, or you're thinking about having a baby, you can watch this video and kind of keep these things in the back of your mind, so that if you do face them, you feel maybe a little bit more prepared or not as surprised when they happen. I really do appreciate y'all sticking with me and watching my videos, and I hope you've enjoyed them. And if you do enjoy them, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel, because I'm just gonna be trying to put out a new video every week. I'm sorry that the lighting is not great, and I'm sorry that I look like this. Actually, I'm not sorry that I look like this. I need to just get better about not apologizing for the way that I look. Please just take this video for what it is. It's not me telling you how to do something. It's not me telling you that all of these things are gonna happen for you or happen to you. This is me sharing my experiences, hoping that they help somebody else. So let's just get into the video. I think I have 10 things that I want to share with you guys. Let's just get into things that I wish I knew before becoming a mom. The first thing that I wish I knew before becoming a mom is that I was going to change. And I feel like you kind of know, like obviously your life is going to be different once you have a child, but the person that you are and the way that you see the world truly changes. And I think back to the girl or woman that I was before having Brooks, and I am so different. The way that I feel about people is different. The way that my empathy has increased. Like I can't even watch certain shows because it affects me so much more now. And going out into the world, I'm just so much more affected by what's going on around me and so much more aware of my surroundings than before when I had Brooks. I feel like kind of like carefree and not necessarily didn't care about other people, but it just wasn't to the extreme that it is now, because the emotions that I have for other people has just grown so much, and for all different types of people going through different things. And honestly, I think because you love this child so much and you want to protect them and you want to bring them into this world and you want to make the world better, and because you want it to be better for them. That is the first thing that I didn't necessarily expect myself to change to the extent that I did. Mentally, I am so different, and honestly I'm thankful for it, because I think it's made me a better person, a better friend, a better partner, and a better mom. The second thing that I wish I knew is that your relationship will change, whether it's your boyfriend, your partner, your husband, your girlfriend, whatever it is. Having a child will truly test your relationship, and it will change it in ways that you never imagined, and it will show you sides of your partner that you have never seen before. And I feel like it's really common right after you have a baby, because you're sleep deprived. It's a whole new experience, and neither of you have had to do this. Like, you may have lived with this person for a long time, but when you throw a baby into the mix, it truly pushes people to their limits on exhaustion, on anger, on, I don't even know. It's watching Brandon become a father has been beautiful and it has been great, but there have been some very tense moments between us. It has been hard. I don't personally know anyone who has had the perfect bringing home baby and have had the perfect husband the whole time they've had it since having kids. I don't know if that exists, and if you have one of those people, that's so amazing. I wish I'd been more prepared to know that Brandon and I were going to have struggles. And the biggest piece of advice I can give you, and it's like, when you become a mom, you hate to ask for help. You hate it, but you need it. You need help. So please don't be afraid to ask for it. The biggest piece of advice I can give you is you have to communicate. you have to talk to your partner. If you need something, you have to tell them. They cannot read your mind. If you need them to cook dinner for you, if you need them to take the trash out, if you need them to take the baby to give you a break, to take a shower, to do this, to do that, please tell them. If you need help from your parents, your family, your friends, please ask them. Don't let it get to the point where you are doing everything yourself, because it's just having a baby and trying to do everything. It's not healthy. You need breaks, you need time for yourself, you need help. I struggled so much asking for help to the point where I would explode on Brandon. And if I just communicated with him earlier, 99% of these events could have been avoided. So I'm telling you, pregnant mom, new mom, tell these people what you need before it gets to a point that it's just chaos and that you feel like you're overwhelmed and about to explode over anything. That is the biggest lesson I've learned after having a kid. Communicate, 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 and your life will be 1,000 times easier. I promise. I promise. The next thing that I wish I knew is that there are a million ways to be a mom. No matter what people tell you on how to do this, that, or the other, trust your instincts. You know what is best for your child, as long as it's not something that's illegal or harmful or anything like that. Obviously, always do your research and trust your instincts. I was so obsessed with trying to sleep train Brooks. It wasn't for us. It never has been, it never was, and it probably never will be. I don't know. So Brooks and I, we co-sleep. And a lot of people have issues with that, but also a lot of people do that. I mean, it's like something so natural that's been going on for hundreds of thousands of years, co-sleeping with your child. And if someone does sleep train, I support them. I love that they do something that works for them, and I really would expect that in return. But some people are judgmental and they think that the way they do something is the end all be all, and it's not. Obviously, trust your gut and do your research. Same with how you feed your baby. If you want to do purees, if you want to do baby-led weaning, if you want to do a combination of both of them, if you breastfeed, if you formula feed, do your research, do what you're comfortable with, and don't worry about what everybody else is doing. It's you have to do what's best for you and your family, and that is all that matters. You're gonna hear a lot from a lot of people, and nobody knows your child like you do, mom, or soon to be mom, or want to be mom. Nobody knows your child like you do. So do what's best for you and your family, and that is all that matters. The next two things that I wish I had known have to do with breastfeeding. So if you're formula feeding, this is not any shade or whatever towards you. I support you. I think what you're doing is great. I just personally breastfed and am still breastfeeding Brooks. Once again, it's just something that worked for our family and for me and him. I wish I had known that breastfeeding was not going to help me lose weight, and that I am actually hungrier now breastfeeding than I was when I was pregnant. I can't tell you how many people told me that breastfeeding was going to make me lose all of my baby weight extremely fast, and also people that ask me constantly how much weight I've lost since having Brooks because I am breastfeeding. And at first it was so upsetting and triggering, because I'd be like, I think I gained some weight. It was so upsetting that I was like, what is wrong with me? Why am I not losing the baby weight like everyone told me? Is something wrong with me? Am I just being insanely like frivolous and eating everything in sight? Like, I just thought something was wrong with me. This is so common. People, when you're breastfeeding, you're losing calories. You have to feed a whole nother human being from your body. You're gonna be hungry. And it's like, once I was ready, I incorporated working out and everything like that, but I feel good. Am I losing a bunch of weight? Do I still have baby weight and fat and jiggliness and cellulite? 1000% I do. And am I mad about it? No. I love my body. Sometimes it's hard for me. You know, sometimes I look in the mirror and I don't like what I see. But then I just have to remind myself that I didn't grow him in 5 months. Why should I have lost all the baby weight in 5 months? Even in 9 months. It is so much harder to lose weight than it is to gain weight. We all know how easy it is to gain weight, and it's probably twice as hard to lose it. So don't feel like you have to be a certain size at a certain point in time. You don't need to be that. If you've ever heard that breastfeeding makes you lose weight, it may happen for you. Obviously, I'm sure it's happened to some people, or people wouldn't tell you that. But for me, it didn't, and if it doesn't for you, that's okay. There's millions of us that it didn't happen for, so you're not alone. And if people say stuff to you about it, just be like, why don't you go do some research or something before you just like start opening your mouth, because what you're saying is not factual and it's harmful. So I'm here for you, you know, I'm going through it. The thing about breastfeeding is that it is hard. Breastfeeding is hard, but it is beautiful. And I am so thankful that Brooks and I have so far had a successful breastfeeding journey, because I have to take a moment to be grateful, because out of most people's experiences that I've heard, we have had an easier one, and at the same time, it was hard. So I know it can be much harder than what we've gone through. Right, Bubba? Yeah? You gonna talk? I feel like a lot of people just assume when they go home from the hospital that them and their baby are going to have this incredible, amazing breastfeeding journey and all their milk is going to be in, when in reality my breastfeeding journey didn't even start to get easier till 2 months after I left the hospital. All of my milk didn't come in for a few weeks, probably 3 or 4 weeks, and Brooks lost weight the first 2 weeks. But my doctor was super understanding about our situation, and that he was a C-section baby, and that when he was born, he had a lot of fluid in him, so he was going to lose weight. He never pressured me with formula. And my son is now above average in weight. He's in like the 80th percentile for weight. You know, not every journey looks the same, and breastfeeding causes cracked nipples, bloody nipples, mastitis, engorgement. And mastitis is not fun. It gives you flu-like symptoms. Women have to deal with a lot of things that come along with breastfeeding. So I don't want you to have this, you know, idea of breastfeeding as like, it's gonna be this perfect, easy thing when I leave the hospital, because that is just not realistic. And then a lot of people leave the hospital and realize it's a lot harder than they expected, and they give up. But I feel like if you go in with the knowledge and the information and the tools that will help you, you'll be more successful at breastfeeding. Me, I didn't even want to breastfeed. When I was pregnant, I said, I am not breastfeeding. That is gross. I thought it was so weird to breastfeed. And then I had my son, and everything changed. My whole mindset changed. And I am so thankful that it did, because the moments that I spend with Brooks breastfeeding are some that I will literally like never forget. And the bonding between that, not that you can't bond with formula, because you can. You love mama and mama loves you. Yes. Those are my little tidbits about breastfeeding that I wish I had known before becoming a mother. I thought after I had Brooks that I would get to this point where I would be like, oh, I'm going out, like dad's watching the kid, grandma's watching the kid, and I would have mom time. I am actually terrified to leave Brooks. I have such bad anxiety about it, and I was not prepared for this. I already have anxiety. Like before I ever got pregnant, I was diagnosed with anxiety and depression. But wow, I did not expect to not ever want to leave my son. And I just worry so much. But I'm actually, the end of October, I'm going to a Luke Combs concert overnight. So Brandon is going to be watching Brooks, and I have so much anxiety, like just even thinking about it. And it's not for a few more weeks, and I've just been thinking about it for months. I even thought about canceling the trip. It's for one night, not even 24 hours will I be gone. But I'm so nervous about this, and I thought I'd be like, oh yeah, I need a break, or I need a night out, or like, no, I'm actually forcing myself to go, because I don't want to go actually anymore. I mean, of course I want to go see Luke Combs with my best friend and go to a concert and have a great time. I don't want to leave my son either. I really don't want to leave him. But I know for my mental health and to be a good mom, I need to fill my cup, and I know that experience is gonna help me, you know, fill my cup up and feel better. Woo! You did, boo! playing? Are you playing? Yes. But yes, I did not expect that I would be nervous and scared and worried to leave my child. Now, every person may not be like this, and if you aren't like this, that doesn't mean anything. And if you are like it doesn't mean anything. It's just that it has happened to me and I didn't expect it to. The next thing that I wish I knew is that you have to set firm boundaries when you become a mom. And sometimes that means setting boundaries with your partner, your parents, other family members, friends, random people. You have to set your boundaries and you have to stick to them. No matter what anybody says, once again, you have to trust your gut and you have to do what's best for you and your family. And sometimes that means setting boundaries like a lot of people were doing with COVID, how they weren't letting family members see their child that weren't masked or outside or vaccinated. And if that's what you think is best for you and your family, then you need to do that. You need to set those boundaries. Like, our parents did a lot of things differently growing up, raising kids. So they have their own things that they think are, so they have their own ways of doing things and what they think is right. Sometimes you have to set boundaries with your parents about how you do things and how you want things done for your son. And you need to be firm with those boundaries because you're this child's mother. Sorry if the angle and the lighting looks a little bit off. I had to delete some old footage because I ran out of storage. I was talking about boundaries, but just to wrap that part up, don't let other people try to put you down or talk you out of something that you are confident, knowledgeable, and have, you know, done your own research about that you feel is right for your family. That's all I'm gonna say. Another thing that I wish I had known is that motherhood is not a competition. So how fast you get your body back after baby isn't a competition. It doesn't matter whose body bounces back faster than so-and-so's body. And I know social media makes it hard because you'll have a mom post a picture of them 6 to 8 weeks postpartum and they're almost just as flat and skinny or whatever as they were before. That's their journey, that's their body. Everybody's body is different. And you are on your journey and you don't need to compare yourself to anybody else. You gave birth to your child, however way you did it, vaginally or C-section, and your body will change how it needs to change afterwards. All I can say is just do what you can to take care of your mental health. And if you take care of your mental health, you can take care of your body. You have to take care of what's up here first before you start worrying about your body. And sometimes working out helps with your mental health. But don't do something just because you're trying to look like somebody else on Instagram. Half the time it's not real anyway. Another thing you don't want to compare, and it's not a competition, is your child's milestones. People love to post when their kids roll or laugh or smile or walk. It's not a competition. There's ranges of time for milestones because some kids take longer than others, and some kids will do things faster than others, and no kid is the same. You don't need to worry about if your baby rolls at 3 months or if your baby rolls at 6 months. I believe the milestone for rolling is like at the end of 6 months. And even then, you're not supposed to worry. You may just mention it to your doctor. Every baby is different. Every human is different. You are not in competition with another mom. And just because your kid rolls later than another mom's kid doesn't mean that they're a better mom. You are a great mom, okay? Your kid will do things when they're ready. And if they go past the time, he's kicking on his keyboard because it helps get his poop out. But you are doing great, mama. Don't worry about what other people are doing. You just keep taking care of that baby, and that baby will hit milestones when they're ready, okay? I put so much pressure on myself as to why he isn't doing this yet. And then honestly, when he did roll, I was so emotional because I was like, oh my gosh, time slowed down. What? He's already rolling? When did he get this old? So it's kind of like a double-edged sword. You want them to hit milestones, and then when they do, you're like, oh my God, slow down, you're getting too big. And he's looking at me like I'm crazy, but this is for real, Brooks. It's emotional. Just keep that in the back of your mind. You're doing your best. Don't worry about everyone else's body or their child. You are doing a great job, and I mean that. The last thing that I want to talk about that I wish I knew before becoming a mom is that Postpartum depression and anxiety can literally happen anytime, I believe, up to a year, even after a year. So after Brooks, for the first 3 months, I almost felt like I was on cloud 9. I felt like things were great. Things weren't always great, but I felt like for the most part they were great. And then one day it was like this black cloud just came over top of me, and it lasted for weeks. I mean, I cried all the time. I felt like I was alone, and I felt like I had no one, and I couldn't explain. It was a really rough time for me, and it was also a really rough time in my relationship because I wasn't communicating with Brandon really well. I was just holding it all in and crumbling. I mean, I would just sob in the shower. I would sob outside. Like if I wasn't around Brandon or driving down the road, I would just cry because I just felt like I was doing it on my own, but it's also because I wasn't asking for help. I still have days, but it wasn't as strong as those few 3 or 4 weeks where I just felt like an elephant was sitting on top of me. And I felt like hopeless and like a horrible mom and like a horrible girlfriend, and it was truly horrible. So if you're struggling, please reach out. Please don't be afraid to talk to somebody. Your feelings are valid and what you're going through is very real. Your hormones are a roller coaster, and they can be for months. I mean, if you just feel unexplainable sadness, anger, anxiety, these are all things that happen because of your hormones trying to level back out after having a baby. And you should really talk to a doctor, reach out to your partner, reach out to a friend, just tell somebody and get help. Or at least if you feel like you can manage it by talking to other people, whether it's your friends, at least do that. I have talked to women that said they started having postpartum depression and anxiety after a year. I experienced it around the 3-month mark, which I've heard is common. And then some people felt it at 6 months, and sometimes it lasts longer. Sometimes it lasts from months to a year to, I mean, it happens differently for all sorts of people. One day after a couple months of having a baby, if you feel this way, you're not alone, and it's not uncommon. Now, it's not normal to experience these feelings. It's not a great thing to experience these feelings, but it does happen to a lot of women. And I can't suggest enough that you just talk to somebody about it, because you deserve it. You're a new mom, and even if it's your 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, whatever child, you deserve help and you deserve someone to talk to. And even if you need medication, do that. Do what you need to do to take care of yourself so you can take care of your child. That's all that matters. I want you to leave down in the comments below something that you wish you knew before you had a child. And if you don't have a child, I want to know what from this video you think is the most helpful, or like what you are the most shocked to hear about, because I know for some of these things I had no idea and I was ill prepared. So I wanted to share what I felt like I was ill prepared on to y'all, so maybe I can help one of you be more prepared when you have a kid. Or if you just have a kid now and you're like, what is going on? I didn't know any of this. I'm not trying to scare anyone. I just want to make people aware, and that us as moms, we're all in this together, and instead of tearing each other down, we need to be building each other up. So I love you guys so much. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next week, next Wednesday. I love you guys. Is that you telling them goodbye? We love you guys. Bye.